What's up guys, Tyler V at ZZP here. Back with another blue car video, except today we're starting a new series that's a little more introductory, but we all gotta start somewhere. So what we wanna do is go through the various sensors within the engine bay on the LSJ here. We're hoping to expand this to all of our other platforms, but thought this would be a great start. The LSJ is pretty simplistic in terms of cars that we work on. So we're gonna go through one by one, just give a brief synopsis on each sensor, where it's located, and kind of what it does. Because oftentimes a lot of people don't know where a sensor might be located or what it might be doing, or they get a check engine light that calls out one of them. So we wanna make it a little bit easier for you guys to diagnose your car and fix it and keep it running right. So let's dive under the hood. I'm gonna start with probably the most important sensor when it comes to an LSJ, and that's gonna be your mass airflow sensor, or MAF, M-A-F. Now on the Cobalt SS and the Ion Redline, that's gonna be located in your intake. You can't see it here because it is located down in the fender well. Same with the stock intake, it's located down there, so you do either have to pull the fender well or pull your headlight to get access to it. But the mass airflow sensor, as the name suggests, measures the mass of air flowing into the engine. It measures the density and the volume of the air entering into the engine. So oftentimes a lot of people ask questions like, do I need to retune with a different pulley? Once you're tuned, the MAF can compensate for changes in the air volume that's coming into the engine. So no, you do not need to retune for a pulley. But why I say that this is the most important sensor is this sensor works in conjunction with your O2 sensors that are in the exhaust to calculate your air-fuel ratio. This is absolutely needed, and I'm gonna say this for any sensor around the engine, but especially the MAF and the O2 sensor. Use genuine OEM sensors. There's nothing worse than getting a code for your MAF, you try cleaning it, doesn't help, you go to the parts store, you get a new MAF, and then you're gonna end up with even worse problems. So stick with OEM on that. But like I said, that's gonna be measuring the amount of air entering into the engine, the density. This isn't a carburetor, so you can go up to Denver, you can go down to sea level, and it's gonna compensate for all of that. Moving along, we'll go to the opposite side of the engine here. On your intake manifold, right behind the supercharger and underneath the fuel rail is gonna be your MAP or MAP sensor. These are often confused because they have such similar acronyms, being MAF and MAP, but your MAP sensor stands for Manifold Absolute Pressure, and that's gonna measure, as the name implies, the pressure within the manifold once it's gone through the supercharger and you've created boost. So this is very important, obviously, as all the sensors are, to fueling calculations, timing calculations, things of that nature. The OEM LSJ is a 2.5 bar sensor, so it will read up to 22.5 pounds. If you're on a supercharger, you don't want to be anywhere near there. But if you're on a turbo car, you still can use that sensor. Along the same vein, we have two other pressure sensors on the LSJ. The first one that you'll immediately notice, right up top here, that's gonna be your supercharger inlet pressure sensor. Now, I say that all the sensors are important. This one really does nothing. At least within HP tuners, our tuning capabilities, we don't care about that sensor. The engine doesn't really seem to care, and once you're tuned, it makes no difference. So, obviously you want all your sensors working correctly, you don't want any check engine lights, but that one, not quite as important. Buried down, which we may not be able to take a peek at, actually I've got mine relocated right over here. That's gonna be your barometric pressure sensor. Now this one causes a little confusion, especially to people who have just picked up LSJs. Normally it's gonna be located down on the side of the block. I've got mine moved for some testing we're doing for some new products. What that sensor does is it measures the absolute pressure of the air outside. It does not connect to anything It hangs out in the open. It's just there by itself. And the PCM uses that for calculations for fueling. It compares that to your manifold absolute pressure sensor. No hose needed, don't worry about that. If you get a code, that's where your baro sensor is. Over here by your map sensor, up top just to the left of the fuel rail, that's gonna be your coolant temp sensor. As the name implies, it measures the temperature of your coolant. PCM uses that for various things, but make sure that's in, functioning properly. Going around the engine, we got a couple more. Up top here, we have your EVAP Purge solenoid and your boost solenoid. Those aren't necessarily sensors in themselves, but they are critical to how the car functions, especially stock. I won't get into EVAP, but that goes back to the charcoal canister at the back. And then your boost solenoid here, which we do see a lot of problems on the LSJ. That runs vacuum from the intake manifold to that, and normally would connect to your supercharger bypass. And there are a few different parameters within the PCM that can control, but that does often go bad. So that's where that's located. Down below, underneath the car on the front of the engine, there's going to be two sensors that are very important to engine operation. One's going to be your crankshaft position sensor, and then the other one is going to be your knock sensor. Knock sensor is pretty self-explanatory. It measures knock within the engine. It uses KR within the PCM to reduce timing and or reduce boost if your boost solenoid is still hooked up correctly, but that's needed. Next to that, to the right, is your crankshaft position sensor. That one measures where the crank is within its rotation, compares that to the next sensor I'm going to be talking about, your camshaft position sensor. Make sure timing is all correct. Make sure that it's registering misfires correctly. Now that sensor, often referred to as the CKP, a lot of people will put a new tuned PCM in and they'll get a P0315 code. Now, we have lots of behind the build videos on various codes, but just because you get a 315 code does not mean that your crankshaft position sensor is faulty. That's actually a programming difference within the PCMs. You can watch that video. I believe Ryan goes into more depth there. If it's not Ryan, sorry Ryan. But like I said, that crank position sensor links up with the camshaft position sensor, which is on the exhaust cam, on the driver's side of the head, back down below, tucked in. So we might not be able to see it. But those two sensors work in combination with making sure that the engine is in time. If you get a P0017 code, it could be the camshaft position sensor, but oftentimes it's going to mean that your engine is actually out of time. If you recently did head work, changed cams, a lot of people mistime the camshaft position sensor. It can be a little tricky to get it right. We've got a video on doing Ecotech timing. Watch that. Last but not least, down under on the exhaust, you've got two O2 sensors. You have your primary O2 or bank 1, sensor 1, and then farther down in the exhaust, you have your secondary O2. That's going to be your bank 1, sensor 2. On the LSJ, the sensor 2 isn't as crucial. That just measures airflow pre and post cat. But your primary O2, that's what the mass airflow sensor is comparing against for all of your fueling needed for the car. Again, original OEM AC Delco sensor for your primary O2. There are a few other sensors located throughout the vehicle, some trans sensors, some at the back, but that's going to be your main list. If you come across any codes, feel free, shoot us an email at customerservice@ZZPerformance.com or reach out to your tuner. Otherwise, I hope this video helped you guys. Hope you could see a nice visual of where those sensors are, what they do, and then obviously there's lots of check engine lights. If you have any questions about diagnosing them, reach out. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time. Peace.